My name is Tyler, a 23-year-old living in San Diego with my mother. I'm employed as a graphic designer at a modest downtown marketing firm. The job isn't flashy, but it covers my expenses, and frankly, I appreciate the flexibility. I work from home part-time, which grants me some breathing space. I've never been one for wild parties, more the type to relax with a couple of close friends. But when your mom hits 50 and decides to throw a massive birthday bash, you show up, especially when it's at your own house. Last Saturday, our backyard was a spectacle of balloons, twinkling string lights, and unfamiliar faces. Relatives, co-workers, old college buddies, and neighbors filled the space. My role was straightforward: assist with setup, clean up, and flash polite smiles at people who recalled me as the adorable kid sprinting around shirtless, chocolate smeared across my face. Then I noticed her, Karen, one of my mom's co-workers. I'd seen her a handful of times before, but she never really registered. That night, though, I couldn't look away. She was likely the youngest guest besides me, probably in her mid-30s. Long brown hair, understated makeup, and a dress that was effortlessly striking. She exuded a quiet confidence, like someone who'd weathered enough storms to discern what truly matters. My mom always spoke highly of her, mentioning Karen's tough divorce and her resilience. She'd visited our house occasionally, helping with work or bringing wine for vent sessions, but I'd barely paid attention. That night, something changed. At first, I just observed her mingling, her laughter natural and unforced. She wasn't flirting, just being her approachable self. I kept stealing glances, my drink disappearing faster than it should have. I wasn't drunk, but a warm looseness was settling in. Maybe it was the music, her laugh, or feeling like a ghost in the crowd. But something urged me toward her. By the time the party was in full swing, a few drinks had emboldened me, not to blackout levels, just enough to act on impulse. I saw her by the patio lights, chatting with my aunt. When she was alone, I approached, heart hammering. She looked up and smiled. "Hey, Tyler," she said, as if she genuinely recalled me. "You're all grown up." I laughed, scratching my neck. "Yeah, glad you could make it." "Wouldn't miss it," she replied. "Your mom's one of my favorite people." I nodded, then blurted, "I'd do anything just to be with you once." It slipped out smoother than I had anticipated, but the weight of it hit me instantly. She blinked, staring at me. No laughter, no revulsion, just a steady gaze. That silence was worse than any response. I gave a quick nod, forced a half smile, and walked away, as if I'd merely commented on the weather. The rest of the night blurred, chatting with a cousin, cleaning up shattered glass, and collapsing on the couch with a throbbing headache and a nagging sense I'd done something colossally foolish. I had no clue that those 10 bold, tipsy words would spark something unstoppable. The next morning, I woke late, still in my jeans, mouth dry, head pounding. The house was eerily quiet. Empty wine bottles lined the kitchen counter, and half-deflated balloons bobbed near the ceiling. My mom was either out or asleep. I chugged water, sank onto the couch, and rubbed my eyes. The haze of the previous night lingered. Laughter, food, a toppled lamp. But it was murky. I grabbed my phone, scrolling through notifications out of habit. Then I saw it. A message from Karen. One sentence. If what you said last night was serious, I'd like to talk about it. My stomach lurched. I stared at the screen, hoping it might rewrite itself. I reread it, piecing together the memory. I'd do anything just to be with you once. I'd said that to Karen, my mom's coworker, at her birthday party, half drunk. I wanted to vanish. Part of me laughed in disbelief. Another part craved oblivion. I considered ignoring it, blaming the alcohol, or disappearing entirely. But then I paused and realized something. I wasn't lying. Sober, I wouldn't have said it, but it wasn't false. Karen's presence, her energy, her intelligence, her poise, had lingered in my mind longer than I'd admitted. I took a breath, typed a reply, deleted it, rewrote it, and finally sent. I meant it, but I understand if you'd rather forget it happened. Minutes later, she responded, "Let's meet for coffee. I think we should talk face to face." She suggested a quiet cafe near downtown, nothing fancy, just neutral. She asked if I was free that afternoon. With no plans, I agreed. The next 2 hours were a whirlwind of self-doubt, changing shirts 5 times, brushing my teeth twice, wondering if this was a trap. Was my mom involved? Was Karen going to mock me? I arrived 10 minutes early, claiming a seat near the back, facing the door. The cafe was nearly empty. Just a few students on laptops and a guy with earbuds reading a paperback. At precisely 3:06 p.m., Karen walked in. She wore a simple green sweater and jeans, hair loosely tied back, no makeup, or so subtle it seemed natural. She spotted me, gave a brief smile, and approached. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey," I replied, standing awkwardly before sitting too quickly, probably looking like a jittery intern. We ordered coffee and sat in silence for a moment, each second stretching endlessly. She broke the tension. "So, you remember what you said last night?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah, it came back to me this morning." She tilted her head, studying me. "Was that something you meant, or just the alcohol talking?" I didn't plan to say it, I admitted, but I wasn't lying. I've always noticed you. Last night, I guess I stopped pretending I didn't. She glanced at her cup, then met my eyes. "You know, I'm 12 years older than you, right?" I nodded. "And that I work with your mom." "Yeah," I said. "That part's not ideal." She gave a soft laugh. "No, it's not." Another pause followed, not awkward, but laden with significance. She sipped her coffee and looked at me again. But the crazy part, I didn't hate hearing it. That threw me. "You didn't?" "I've been divorced for 4 years," she said. "No kids. I haven't had someone say something that honest to me in a long time." It surprised me, but in a good way. I was speechless, my brain scrambling to grasp that I hadn't ruined everything. She leaned in slightly. "I don't want to complicate things. I'm not trying to disrupt your relationship with your mom or mess up your life. But I'm also not going to pretend I didn't feel something when you said it." I nodded, slower this time. "So, what now?" She shrugged, a faint smile at her lips. "I don't know. Maybe we figure it out." It wasn't a yes or a no, but it was something real. I barely slept after that meeting, not from anxiety, but because my mind wouldn't quiet, replaying her words, her glances, every pause. The next day, she texted, "Would you like to take a walk sometime this week? Somewhere quiet. Just talk." I agreed instantly. We met Thursday at a park near Balboa, far from the city's noise, just trees, paths, and birdsong. I wore jeans and a hoodie, nothing suggesting a date, unsure if it even was one. I just knew I wanted to see her again. She was already there, on a bench with coffee, wearing sunglasses. Her smile was genuine, not forced. I sat beside her, keeping a careful distance. "How's your mom?" she asked. "Still recovering from the party?" I chuckled. "She thinks she's 25. Karen smirked. "She kind of acts like it." We laughed, and it felt natural, like this wasn't strange or wrong, just two people finding ease in each other. We strolled slowly, not touching, not hurrying. She shared more about her life, her divorce, not messy, but hollow. They'd fallen out of love long before the papers were signed. She'd wanted kids, but time slipped away, and now she wasn't sure if that door was still open. "I focused too much on work," she said. "Then one day, I was alone. Not unhappy, just not full." I listened, truly listened. It wasn't just an older woman venting. It was someone being raw, unguarded. "I'm not broken," she added after a pause. "But I'm cautious. I'm not looking for drama. That's why I'm here, trying to understand what this is, if it's anything." I took a breath. "I don't know what this is either. I just haven't stopped thinking about you since the party." She glanced at Mindset that night. "What made you say it? The alcohol or something else?" I thought for a moment. "Maybe both. I've noticed you every time you were around. How you talk, how you carry yourself. You're different from the people I meet." "I'm 12 years older," she said softly. "I know," I replied. "It doesn't matter." She didn't argue, just walked silently, then stopped by the lake. "You know what scares me?" she said. I shook my head. "That I could really like you. And I don't know how to explain that to your mom or myself." I stepped closer, not too close, but enough to bridge the emotional gap. "You don't have to explain anything yet. Let's just see where it goes." She smiled. "Okay." We didn't kiss or touch that day, but something shifted, a quiet, undeniable current. I walked her to her car, and she touched my arm lightly. "Thanks for not making this weird," she said. "I'll try not to," I replied, smiling. Over the next weeks, we texted often, not flirty at first, just real conversations. She'd send photos of funny things or ask about my work. I'd share my deadlines, frustrations, or what I was watching. Sometimes we'd call, her voice always calm, grounding. She made me feel like more than a kid chasing a dream, like someone she valued. Then one Friday, she invited me to a small Airbnb she'd rented by the ocean for a quiet weekend. "You can come by if you want. No pressure." I didn't hesitate. The place was cozy, filled with books and plants, a candle glowing on the windowsill, jazz humming softly. We talked for hours, sipped tea, watched waves through glass doors. Somewhere between discussing music and childhood regrets, I touched her hand. She didn't pull away. Our eyes met, not with doubt, but with something like relief, as if we'd both been waiting. We kissed, slow and careful, like crossing a threshold we couldn't uncross. When we parted, she was quiet, then whispered, "I didn't plan this." "Me neither," I said. She smiled sadly. "We need to keep this between us." "For now," I agreed. meaning it. Whatever we'd started felt real, and I wasn't ready to lose it. After that night, everything shifted. We didn't dissect the kiss. It was in her morning text smiles, my mid-work thoughts of her, our conversations turning affectionate. We agreed to keep it private, not from shame, but to shield something fragile from others' judgments, especially my mom's. Karen was her friend, her co-worker, and I was her son. No one needed to be caught in the crossfire yet. At first, it was manageable. Karen visited our house occasionally for work or lunch with my mom. Those days were tough. I'd pour drinks in the kitchen while she stood nearby, both of us acting like strangers. Sometimes our eyes lingered too long, and we'd look away fast. One afternoon, while my mom showered, we were alone in the living room, exchanging safe small talk. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. I checked mine. "You look good in that shirt." I grinned for the next 20 minutes. Our secret meetups grew frequent. She'd pick me up after work on Tuesdays, driving to unfamiliar neighborhoods. We'd sit in her car talking, walk the coast at night, or eat in quiet diners. It wasn't just attraction, though that burned strong. It was how effortless it felt. Karen didn't play games or pretend. She was honest, even when it stung. "I don't want to be your secret forever," she said once, watching the sunset from a park bench. "You won't be," I promised. "I just don't know how to tell her yet." "She'd freak out," Karen said softly. "Yeah," I admitted. She rested her head on my shoulder. "But I still want this." I believed her, but secrets have a way of closing in. One Friday, Karen was at our house for dinner, invited by my mom. Others were there, work friends, my Uncle Paul, a neighbor. The house hummed with chatter, wine glasses in hand. Karen looked radiant, simple black top, gold earrings, hair tied back. I noticed every detail but sat across from her, trying not to stare. After dinner, my mom pulled me into the kitchen. "You've been quiet lately," she said, studying me. "Everything okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "Just work." She nodded slowly. "You and Karen seem to get along. She always asks about you, and you light up around her." I nearly choked. "What do you mean?" "Just be careful," she said. "She's older. She's been through a lot." I muttered something vague and fled back to the crowd. Later, I texted Karen. "She suspects something." Her reply was quick. I felt it too. "Maybe we should slow down." It stung, but she wasn't wrong. Still, slowing down didn't mean stopping. We grew more cautious. Karen stopped visiting the house. We met at her place when my mom was at work or away. Our bond deepened, our talks turning practical. "I don't want to sneak around forever," she said one night. "I'm scared of losing both of you." "I don't want to hurt her either," I said, "or lose this." She looked at me with calm intensity. "Then we take our time." I nodded. Sometimes we laughed about the irony, a drunken sentence sparking something neither of us expected. But mostly, we lived in the moment, ignoring the outside world. We were balancing emotion, secrecy, and reality. But together, it felt worth it. I wasn't just smitten, I was falling for her. It's been 7 months since I drunkenly told my mom's friend I'd do anything to be with her once. 7 months since her silent gaze said more than words. Since her cautious text the next day. Since we crossed a line we didn't see coming. Now, we're still together, still in love, still hidden. I've wondered if that makes us cowards or just prudent. Truth is, we didn't plan this, but once it happened, we couldn't let go. Karen and I have carved out a life in the quiet gaps. Early morning walks when the city sleeps, Thursday takeout at her place with a movie we barely watch, long calls when I pretend I'm with friends and she claims she's working late. It's not perfect, but it's ours. The more time we share, the clearer it becomes. This isn't a fling. It's deeper, something we both needed without knowing how to ask. A few weeks ago, we sat in her kitchen drinking coffee. I'd stayed over while my mom was at a work retreat. Karen, barefoot in my hoodie, hair mussed from sleep, leaned against the counter. "I've been thinking," she said. "Dangerous," I teased. She smiled, rolling her eyes. "About us. About telling her." I paused. "Really?" "I hate hiding," she said, "pretending we're strangers when I care more than I ever thought I would." I nodded. "Me too. But I don't want to lose her as a friend," she added softly. "I know, and I don't want you to choose between her and me." I took her hand. "You're not, but we can't stay in the shadows forever." She squeezed my hand, silent. That night, I didn't sleep, imagining my mom's reaction, yelling, crying, or just stunned silence. We haven't told her yet, maybe not for a while. Instead, we decided to plan seriously, intentionally, going public only when we're ready to face the fallout. That choice felt solid. We've started looking at apartments, not to move in tomorrow, but to envision it. We discuss money, work, living openly. Karen wants to resume therapy to brace for backlash. I've taken up journaling, surprisingly. We've set a goal. By year's end, we'll tell my mom. Not dramatically, but honestly, without guilt. People may not understand. The age gap, her being my mom's friend, our secret start. But they don't see how she listens when I overthink, holds my hand in silence. Never judges, always real. She sees me too. Not a kid chasing a fantasy, but a man who chose her deliberately. We're not perfect or conventional, but we're real. That's enough for now. When I drunkenly spoke those words at my mom's party, I didn't grasp their weight. Now I do. It meant choosing Karen, not once, but every day. And I will.